There's been temporary reductions in global CO2 emissions during the COVID-19 pandemic, an unintended silver lining to the mass stay-at-home orders.
In fact, a Stanford University study estimates that it's possible that the quarantine has saved more lives than were lost in some of the most polluted areas of the world, because 9 million people die from air pollution every year. We just don't really talk about those numbers very much.
That's Dr. Katharine Hayhoe, an atmospheric scientist and professor at Texas Tech University. She adds that it's far from all good news when it comes to the environmental impact of forced confinement.
And in the meantime, during the quarantine, what has increased is our pollution of other things, of waste and of plastics. We're using so many takeout containers. A lot of recycling facilities, including ours right here in Lubbock at the university, have shut down. And so although our waste in some areas has gone down, in other areas it has skyrocketed.
Shawn Dugan, managing director of university student housing at Texas Tech, says the decision to close the center wasn't easy, but a necessity nonetheless.
I think it was right before we all left campus. It was like, hey, I know this is a service for the community, but I don't want to risk folks, they're dealing with all these materials. I don't know where they've come from, who knows? So it just couldn't be a priority to continue that on campus when, we were shut down.
The closure of the university recycling center left locals with few options to dispose of the extra waste that's building up. In fact, Mayor Dan Pope said in a recent press conference that trash collection has doubled during the pandemic. The city does offer some recycling services. They accept number 1 and 2 plastics, aluminum, newspaper, and a few other materials. They don't, however, take glass, and unlike the facilities at Tech, you need to sort everything before dropping it off. To offset this extra waste, Dr. Hayhoe suggests we consider more reusable options when possible.
Some of us might have the time to start looking at those things now, whereas in our normal busy lives we don't. So it's a great opportunity to take stock of what we use, how we use it, where we get it, and are there some small changes that we could make in our habits in our lives today that could make a longer difference long term.
As far as when we could expect the center to reopen, Dugan suggested it might take some time.
I could see possibly it might be a year before we can consider recycling again. Just because, with staff, we've just got to focus on keeping the buildings sanitized, clean, students as safe as possible, those kinds of things.
Visit kttz.org for more information on how COVID-19 is impacting Lubbock. Send us your stories through Twitter or Instagram at TTU Public Media. For Texas Tech Public Media, I'm Jonathan Seaborn. Support for this program comes from Texas Mutual Insurance Company. In response to the COVID-19 crisis, Texas Mutual is distributing dividends to eligible policyholders 2 months early, along with other community relief action. More at texasmutual.com/dividends.